Hello and welcome. We're taught to see the world as this constant battle of opposites. It's how we make sense of pretty much everything. But what if that entire way of thinking is just a grand illusion? In this explainer, we're going to dig in and challenge that core belief. Okay, let's just think about it. Up and down, big and small, rich, poor, good versus evil, and the big one, success versus failure. These pairs, they feel so real, so fundamental, don't they? They're literally the building blocks for our stories, our ambitions, our judgments. It's always us against them, this against that. It feels as solid as rock. But here's the question that kind of flips the whole thing on its head. Are these opposites actually real forces in the universe? Or are they just something we've created from our own, very limited human point of view? What if reality is something else entirely? So to figure this out, we've got to start with perspective. Because as you'll see, the way you see things changes completely depending on where you're standing. Think about it in the simplest way possible. You're in a crowd, right? You look up at a speaker on a stage. From your vantage point, they are definitely up there and you are down here. It feels like a clear hierarchy. Obvious. But what happens if we just zoom all the way out? Imagine you're an astronaut floating in space, looking down at that exact same scene. All of a sudden, there's no up or down. None. There's just a planet with a bunch of people in different spots. The opposition just dissolves. Poof. It was an illusion created by where we were standing. Okay, so that's a physical example. Pretty straightforward. But let's take this same logic and apply it to one of the most powerful, most emotional ideas we live by, the myth of success. When you hear the word success, who pops into your head? Probably names like these, right? Conquerors, tycoons, absolute geniuses. These are people who achieved their goals on an epic scale. They won. By our standard definition, they are the poster children for success. But let's just pause for a second and really poke at that definition. What if success isn't good or bad? What if it's just a neutral label for accomplishing a goal, no matter what that goal is and no matter what the consequences are? Because if success just means hitting your target, then you can successfully start a war that kills millions. You can successfully poison a river. You can successfully swindle people out of their life savings or successfully crush any opposition. Suddenly, that shiny, happy word success starts to look a lot different, doesn't it? And this gets us to the real heart of it. Success and failure, they aren't cosmic laws like gravity. They are judgments, human inventions that we create and then apply to things that happen. They exist right here in our minds, not out there in the universe. So if the universe isn't this epic battle between opposites, how does it work? Well, the answer might be found in a totally different idea, the principle of measure. This idea, called due in Chinese philosophy, is really fascinating. It suggests that nothing actually exists in absolute extremes. Instead, everything in the universe operates within a natural, balanced range, a proper measure, a scope, a limit. It's not about winning or losing. It's about functioning within a healthy boundary. And once you start looking, you see this principle of measure everywhere in nature. A planet's orbit has a very specific speed. If it goes too slow, it crashes into the sun. Too fast, and it gets flung out into the void. A tree can't just grow to the moon. Its height has a natural limit, a measure. Even life itself, right down to a single cell, has a measure. This idea can even apply to our own lives, with something you could call a conservation of value. The theory is that the total value in our lives stays pretty constant. So look at these two people. In scenario A, the person has great health, but very little wealth. In scenario B, they've chased money like crazy, and well, their health has totally crashed. But in both cases, the total value adds up to 1. A huge gain in one area often demands a price from another to keep things in balance. And what's really cool is, this isn't some new age idea. This kind of deep understanding of balance and measure, it's woven into ancient wisdom from all over the world. I mean, listen to this from Laozi in the Tao Te Ching. He's talking about this cosmic rebalancing act. To weaken something, you have to let it get strong first. To take from something, you have to give to it first. He saw the universe as this self-correcting system, always seeking its natural measure. And then you find a strikingly similar idea in the teachings of Jesus. In the Sermon on the Mount, he talks about this great cosmic reversal. The poor now will be rewarded later, but the rich, they've already gotten their reward. It's another way of describing this ultimate, universal balancing of the scales. So, what's the big takeaway here? Is it to just give up and not try for anything? No, not at all. The point is to be wise. It's to understand that every single state, every achievement, every condition, it has a natural measure. And it always has a price. Pushing for an extreme in one direction will always cost you something in another. The universe always, always balances its books. And that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. If all those opposites that drive us so hard are just illusions, and if everything in the universe really operates within a natural, balanced measure, then what is the proper measure of your life?